So I got a lot of exciting news today. I bought a fifth stock, you guys. I bought Robinhood stock, company that I've been using literally every single day for my investments, right? I use Robinhood as a primary brokerage for myself. And I finally today have bought into the stock. Now, the position I started is very, very small. I just started a $2,000 share into Robinhood. So it's not that much. It's about only literally like 1% of my, or less than 1% actually, of my whole portfolio. However, I plan on adding more and more into this position of mine, and I'm really bullish on Robinhood. And I'll share with you why. All right. When I look at the financials first, I see this company as still a very accelerated growing company. When you look at the revenues, when you look at the net income, the cash flows, this is a company that has made a lot of money. Now, granted, it made a lot of money because of the crypto craze that happened after Trump won. Yet, I still think this is a company that has so many different ways of making money. When it first started, the company was literally making money on order flows, right? When we make stock purchases, they send those stock orders to a particular third party and they get paid that way. But right now, they have Robinhood Gold. They have the Robinhood credit card. They have futures trading. There's like so many ways. And then they had that whole thing during the presidency where you could bet on who will win the presidency. I just thought that was freaking amazing, right? And how Robinhood, because it's founder led, the CEO is still the person that founded the company. It has so much motivation to grow and become a great company. When I think about this company in the future, I see Robinhood as a way where they're going to be able to make more money on reoccurring revenue, right? One of the things I find a lot of value in as a Robinhood user is on Robinhood Gold. Currently, it gives me 3% match on my IRAs. That's just amazing. That itself is amazing. It gives me faster access to my deposit anytime I was to deposit money into Robinhood. And I just think that more and more people will sign up for Robinhood as time goes on, especially when you have an IRA. Like, why would you not sign up your IRA with Robinhood? That's just my thinking because the match that they have is pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I don't know any other brokerage out there that does a 3% match. Now, besides the financials and the cash flows and the revenue growing, right? I also look at the story of Robinhood. I do believe every single year we're going to have more and more investors. I've been doing social media for about a year and a half now, and one question I constantly get asked is, Andy, how do I get started with investing? So I know that there is still a lot of demand for people that want to get started into investing, people who are not invested yet. And as every year comes around, more and more people turn 18 years old, they will get into the stock market. And one of the amazing companies to start them out with is Robinhood because of how easy and simple their interface is. When you use the Robinhood app, it's so intuitive. Like, I believe if I can start investing at 18 years old on Robinhood, I believe so many others can. I mean, it's just a very straightforward process. And compared to any other brokerage out there, and I have used a couple. I've used Merrill Edge, I've used Vanguard, Citigroup. Uh, Robinhood has been the easiest one to use out of all of them, and I really just the interface itself, I think is far ahead of all the other brokerages, and because of that, I think a lot of the younger generation will flock towards Robinhood. So there's a couple of stories going on here. The first story is that as time goes on, the younger generation will flock to Robinhood. And when we have this big wealth transfer from the boomers to millennials and Gen Z, I actually think the money that is currently in the Charles Schwab, money that's in Fidelity, Vanguard, some of that money will move to Robinhood because that is what the newer generation is used to. That's what the younger generation likes using. So I actually do believe that Robinhood has an advantage on this part, where as more time goes on, they have time on their advantage that more younger people enjoy using Robinhood, and that's majority of their customer base. The second thing that I got going on is that right now, Robinhood mainly allows US consumers to invest in the stock market, but I don't see why not in the future have people from Europe start investing, right? Set up exactly what they have done in the US, but do it in Europe, do it in Asia, do it in Latin America, do it in Africa if need to be, right? If you can set up democratic investing on your phone, right? Let anybody start investing for free, then I don't see why the same formula can't be replicated in different countries, such as those other continents like Europe, Asia, Latin America, Africa. So I see another growth path there. And a third story, right, that I see Robinhood having is that initially they tested it out with betting on the election, how they were making money on and giving consumers the option to bet on the election, on allowing them to bet on who is going to win the election. And I just think this is a revenue source that the other brokerages are currently not taking advantage of. And I think Robinhood can be such a big player in this field and get new ways to make money. One of the things they call this is called futures prediction betting, where they are able to make money and sell the information to other third party on who is currently winning the betting markets, right? Because when you have, for example, let's say the election, right? You have consumers buying into contracts saying who is going to win the election or who's going to win the Super Bowl or who is going to win the midterm elections or the mayorship. That is a lot of important information that the outside parties would love to know. I just see it as another way to keep growing. The fourth way, this company, the story I like behind it is that, to my knowledge, Robinhood is the only brokerage that I know of that is still founder led by the people that actually created the company. And that in itself has huge advantages. I take a look at um, Facebook. I take a look at Microsoft when it was being run by Bill Gates. When I take at all these founder-led companies, they have some sort of advantage that the other companies don't. It's just that they are able to think outside the box because it's the company that they started. They have some sort of emotional attachment, and I just really like that. That's not too big of a thesis, but it is still a thesis and why I bought into the company. Now, here are a couple things that's gonna ruin my purchase of Robinhood. One of them is being higher rates. All right. Right now the 10-year treasury is trading at a 4.1, and that's good. That at a lower rate, Robinhood, I believe, is going to succeed. Right, because where are you going to put your money? Are you going to put your money in a savings account earning like 4% or less than 4%? Probably not. But if you are able to use that money and put it into investing, that's great for Robinhood. Now, if the rates were to go up, right, we have high inflation issues and the rates go up to maybe 8%, 10%, then that creates a lot of issue for Robinhood because some of the people that would have put the money into stocks, they can now put the money into a savings account, into a money market, into a certificate of deposit. Because why take a big risk in investing in the stock market when you can get a 10% return on a savings account? So that's one of the big issues that I do have with Robinhood is that it can be heavily impacted by what's going on in the macroeconomics. If the rates go up, that is an issue. And that is something I'm going to be constantly looking into Robinhood and how it's going to react. But in the long term, I honestly believe this is the best brokerage out there by far. I just think this is one of those cases where it's not even close on who is the second best player. So because of that, I do believe more and more people will flock to Robinhood and still keep on using Robinhood because of just how user friendly and intuitive the software is. Now, in other news, I do need to share with you guys what's going on with the portfolio because within the last 3 months, there has been a lot of volatility in the markets. We have Trump announcing tariffs, and all of that have caused the portfolio to come down $50,000. I came into the year with around 425,000, and now it's around 380,000. So the portfolio has dropped by a big chunk. And you know what's crazy is that when you go past a certain threshold in net worth, it doesn't feel sad. I'm not angry. It's like there's no feeling behind it. Even though for somebody, when they were to lose $50,000 in 3 months, that would be gut wrenching. I don't know why, you guys, but it's a very interesting feeling where I've never lost this much money this fast before. Yet the feeling behind it is just it's just there's no feeling, right? And same thing when you have money, when the portfolio has gone up by so much, there is no feel like happiness or excitement there. It's just like, all right, great, it's another day. Now, what does feel good for my investing portfolio right now is that if I were to make a play that is a bit contrarian, that is not agreed by everybody, and it happens to be the right choice. Those actually do give me a lot of joy, and I'm hoping that Robinhood in this particular case is able to provide that joy for me. That not a lot of people invest in Robinhood at this moment in time, but I'm hoping that people see what I see in Robinhood and the bull thesis that I see in this company on how it can grow more. In the long term, though, I do plan on holding Robinhood for more than a year, but it's not gonna be like my other stock portfolios where I'm gonna be holding it for decades and decades long. I have certain limits set in place where if Robinhood stock reaches a certain level price point thresholds, maybe $60, $70, I will make sure I take some gain off and use house money to play into the stock market. With that, you guys, thank you so much for joining in. I just wanted to announce that I got a brand new stock. Now I have 5 stocks portfolio: Costco, Microsoft, Google, Chipotle, and Robinhood, the company that I've been using every single day for my investments. And I plan on doing so for the rest of the years. Alrighty, you guys. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you.